The kingdom of heaven is like a treasure hidden in a field, which a man found and covered up. Then, in his joy, he goes and sells all that he has and buys that field. This is the shortest parable in the Bible. It is in Matthew 13, verse 44, and it is only verse 44. It is one verse. While this is super small, it is actually a very deep and important parable that he tells. Also, the next parable is very crucial too. So I'm going to read that real quick, and then we're going to talk about it a little bit. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like a merchant in search of fine pearls, who, on finding one pearl of great value, went and sold all that he had and bought it. All right, so these two parables are very, very similar, but they're a little bit different. Okay, so we're going to talk about that just a little bit here. First one is a man who stumbles upon a treasure in a field, and then he finds that this treasure is worth a lot. So much that it's worth everything he owns. And so he goes and sells everything so that he can buy that field that treasure is in. So what's similar about these two parables is that both of these men respond in very similar ways in finding the great treasures which represent the kingdom of heaven. They both respond in selling all that they own and buying the kingdom of heaven, or buying their treasures, in other words. So that's the similarities. But what's the difference? The difference is that the first one, talking about the man stumbling upon the treasure, is that he stumbles upon it. He's not seeking it. He's not looking for treasure. He just is walking through a field and he stumbles upon this treasure, and it's of great value, and so then he goes back and has to buy the field. But the merchant is searching for pearls. He's searching for all these pearls, and he's found a lot of pearls, but they're kind of like mediocre or something like that. But he finds this one pearl that's above all the other pearls, and he realizes its value, and so he sells all that he has and buys it. So I really think the big moral or overarching theme to both of these stories, leading into the next couple of verses, if you want to go read those on your own, go do that. I highly suggest it. But the big overarching story is that we see the kingdom of heaven and we see the value that it is. And because of that value, with joy, which is what the verse says, it says, then in his joy he goes and sells all that he has and buys that field. So with joy, because we don't really care about the things that we own already once we find this great treasure, the kingdom of heaven is worth more than all that we own. Like, literally, the things we own are dirt compared to it. So we go and sell all of them. Basically, we go and submit all of them. And so we orient our lives around it. We orient our lives around the treasure. Notice they didn't orient the treasure around their lives. They didn't find the treasure and then he's like, oh, but wait, I've got to keep some of my stuff, and so the treasure's only partially worth it. It's not worth all of it. No, they give up everything. They sell everything just to have the treasure. How does this relate to our lives? Well, I think we have to ask ourselves a question. Are we willing to give up everything, to sell everything for the kingdom of God? If God were to call you right now today to go and give up something of yours, even just one thing, even if it's just fasting from something as simple as, like, I don't know, candy or food or your phone or whatever it is, maybe a fast, or you could actually give something up. You could actually donate or like give up money or give up time, whatever it is. Are you willing to, if God were to tell you to, if God were to reveal to you that this is what his plan for you was, are you willing to sell it? Are you willing to give it up? Because these men were. And so the question is, am I willing to sell everything for the kingdom of God? Because if I'm not, I might have to ask myself a different question. Am I really a part of the kingdom of God if I'm not willing to give up everything for the kingdom of God? Now, this doesn't mean that you have to give up everything. If God's not calling you to give up everything, then he's not calling you to do that. But if he does call you to do something and you don't do it, what is the kingdom of heaven worth to you? Pursue the kingdom of heaven. Pursue what God has for you. Christ laid down his life for you, so what are you willing to do for Christ if he asks you? Live bold, speak truth, and show love. Oh, hey. So we brought you to this side of the camera because we're looking for leaders. We created this 12-week study guide for leaders, and this is the handbook. So you'll notice in our YouTube series, we have our first 12 videos are just the basics of apologetics. And we created this handbook to go with them. So we want small groups to know about this and for leaders to stand up and teach apologetics to them. So we created this for the leaders, and we want to share this resource with you. So if you're interested in leading a small group through evangelism and apologetics training, reach out to us and we will be happy to supply you with one of these. And then the videos are all free on YouTube. Feel free to reach out to us. We'd love to connect with you. about apologetics and evangelism.